Bachelor in Paradise is off to a wild start, but even though we've seen a few couples start to form already, don't expect that to stay the way it is. We've got a long season ahead of us, and the preview from the end of episode 1 is showing us that couples are going to be shifting around, new arrivals will change everything, and there are a couple of engagement shots we need to talk about. So let's get right into this thing, and please, no posting any outright spoilers unless you can back it up with sleuthing, and a link to the full preview is in the description.
Summer is just getting started.
You are very thorough with sunscreen.
I am.
Alright, I'm gonna pause right here, because a lot of this first bit of the preview is just repeat footage from the previews we got at the end of the Bachelorette season. Well, except for this shot with Justin and I think Victoria F, likely from their upcoming date next episode, and this shot with Brandon and Serene. Now, if you want to hear all my thoughts on the stuff we have seen before, go check out the first look and preseason preview breakdowns for this season if you haven't already. But otherwise, don't mind me, I'm going to just fast forward until we get to some new stuff. Alright, this part is new.
Oh my god! You guys seem good looking couples here.
Brandon and Serene look great together.
I'm falling for you hard.
Rodney and Lace are looking like they're doing really good.
I really see a future between us.
Okay, so here is a whole heck of a lot of new information, some of which is wildly different from the early couplings we saw during episode 1, with of course the exception of Brandon and Serene. These two are the rock-solid couple of the season, and at some point they're gonna be getting a date card. Either that, or this is from when they head to fantasy suites at the end of the season. Apart from them, however, we're also getting a look at Genevieve and Aaron as a couple. Makes sense based on what was teased during Clayton's Women Tell-All and also in the last two Paradise previews. However, it's Rodney and Lace that's the first bit of really new and out of nowhere information. Now this coupling is almost assuredly doomed, but I'll tell you why later on when we get more information on the timeline of this relationship. But before we continue on to that, the other new bit of information we're given is a shot of Brittany and a mystery man. Now, the identity of this man-bun man was eluding me, but thanks to someone from my post-show livestream who recognized him, and the fact that from the last preview breakdown we know that members of the Bachelor Australia franchise will be on this season, it looks as though this man is someone named Adam Todd from the Bachelorette Australia Season 6. He was also apparently in Thor: Love and Thunder. Neat. But alright, let's keep going.
Everyone's so happy. But anything can happen in paradise.
We got the drama.
Damn, I just saw them kiss. And I'm just being like absolutely just chipped away at.
So again, we're seeing a lot of familiar footage to what we've seen before. Michael and Sierra are together like what was established in episode 1, but we know that that's not going to pan out based on previous sleuthing. There's also trouble in paradise for Genevieve and Aaron that the preview is implying is because of Justin, but that could still be a fake out. Oh, and here is our first glimpse of runaway bride Sally on the beach saying the very apt statement, "Anything can happen in paradise." So, let's keep moving.
The Shanae that I know is gonna go nuclear.
Be a man. Like, think about what you're doing right now.
I feel so betrayed right now. I don't want to do this. My heart broke twice in like less than like a day.
Alright, so here we've got more Rodney, and this time he's with Eliza. So that's another shifting couple. But I'm gonna pause talking about this more until we get to another shot later on, where we'll see him, Lace, and Eliza all in the same room together that will help us figure out what's likely going to happen with these three. Still, it's certainly not looking great for Eliza with her in tears right here and Rodney walking away. And I'll be keeping my eyes peeled for this woman and her hair clip, as it's possible this woman is consoling him after this potential breakup with Eliza because she's the one that Rodney is now with. However, it's also equally possible, even more likely I'd say, that she's just giving him a hug after a hard moment. Maybe, based on this other shot, it's Victoria F. Now the other drama featured in this section is with Shanae and Logan, as Logan seems to be interested in Kate from Clayton's season, something that I guess happens after he's already paired up with Shanae, as in this shot we see Shanae having some words with him. Again, we're gonna come back to this in just a bit as there's more context for the timeline of these relationships once we see the Casa Amor twist that Jesse will bring up later in the preview. So, let's keep moving.
And we got the tears.
So hard to to find love. I don't get it.
Ah yes, Jesse Palmer continues his obsession with the tears of his contestants. And this season there's going to be a lot. But the two parts here that I really just want to quickly point out include a shot that's with Rick from Michelle's season, so he'll be showing up at some point, and then back here with Lace, where I'm going to guess she's just had a breakup with Rodney. I mean, the context for all of these shots is nearly impossible to know right now, but that's my current speculation. But let's now get to that Casa Amor twist so we can go over relationship timelines, as a lot is going to be revealed there.
And this season, the shocking twist that will leave you shook.
Ladies, go pack your bags. You'll be leaving paradise immediately.
This is insane. Everyone's pissed off.
Alright, now you probably recognize all of this section if you've seen the past two previews or the past two preview breakdowns. Most of it is all the same except for one incredibly important part. This is the first time from this moment we get the full cast all in one shot. And here we're seeing couples that are wildly different than what episode 1 gave us. On the left is Andrew and Brittany, and there's no Teddy in sight, meaning she's likely going to get eliminated at some point before this twist, and Andrew will be moving on. But also with Brittany and this Adam Todd guy seen together, things don't look good for Andrew either. Now next to them is Johnny and Victoria. No Hunter, who we saw with Johnny in episode 1, and no Justin, who we know goes on a date with Victoria after she arrives, which was teased at the end of last episode. And if you look, there's actually no Justin at all, which is weird considering we've seen a shot of him and Eliza together on a date, yet this is the moment when Eliza first arrives, this Casa Amor twist. So what's going on here? Well, I've got a couple of theories, just hold on. Then, next to Johnny and Victoria is Jacob and Jill, also very different from what we saw in episode 1 with her connection to Romeo and his early one with Shanae. Then we see Lace and Rodney, and with Eliza showing up now, it looks as though Rodney pairs up with Lace first, then moves on to Eliza, which is why I'm thinking that shot before with Lace saying, "Why is it so hard to find love?" is maybe her and Rodney breaking up. Now in the back, we also see Serene and Brandon, and Aaron and Genevieve, which tracks, and finally there's Shanae and Logan. So they look to be a couple before the arrival of Kate, who likely wins Logan over, thus this fight with Shanae that we saw before. But yeah, what about Justin? What's going on there? Is he simply not in the shot and off to the side? Is he eliminated, or does he decide to leave and come back, sort of like what Dean did with Kaylin? I mean, there has to be some sort of explanation as to why he's gone here before Eliza shows up, and then we see him on a date with Eliza later on. Now, one thing I will say is I'm not ready to get into too wild of a theory here, as you know who else is missing? Michael, and he's for sure in an endgame couple, so why is he gone? Here too, there has to be an explanation. I guess maybe he's not there because he's out on a date. And as for when this Casa Amor twist happens, well, expect it to be sometime after the second rose ceremony. With new women arriving, that means the men will have the power at this point in the season. Currently though, after episode 1, the men also have the power, which means at the next rose ceremony, women will go home, then the remaining women will have the power and new men will arrive, then men will go home like maybe Justin and Romeo for example, thus why they're not here, and with the men now back in power, Jesse will introduce the Casa Amor twist, which will send the current women away while the men mingle with the new women, Jasenia, Florence from Bachelor Australia, Sarah, Kate, and Eliza. Then I imagine that the week after that, when the women have the power, the same thing will happen to the men. So yeah, things are really jumbled up, but I feel like we're puzzling some of it together, so let's continue.
You want to go toe-to-toe with me?
Hey, whoa.
Oh.
Oh my god. Medic.
Paradise right now, it's not looking too much like paradise.
Alright, so once more we're seeing the FU Jesse Palmer clip and this medical moment. And I'm just stopping here to remind everyone it's Casey who's going to get hurt. He is also someone we don't see in this shot during the Casa Amor twist, so while it's possible that he simply gets eliminated at the second rose ceremony, it's also possible that this is a rare occasion where the medical drama from the preview actually leads to someone having to leave the show. I guess we'll see though. Moving on.
It's the most incredible season yet. Who will find love?
I want you to be mine, so do you feel that way too?
I do.
Okay, pausing here just to say that this scene with Logan and Kate in the rain having their notebook moment definitely points to her being the one that wins out with Logan over Shanae. But let's now finish off this preview, and in this last section, we've got a new view of some of the all-important engagement shots.
I want to leave.
I can't do it.
Who will get engaged?
Oh my god.
The love continues every Monday and Tuesday night on Bachelor in Paradise.
And there you have it, our season preview for Bachelor in Paradise with 2 engagement shots. Now, this one here we've talked about before, and I speculated based on the bracelet that this was Brandon. Then, adding this shot to the mix, plus a better look at the exact same bracelet on Brandon right here, means I think we're going to be seeing Brandon propose to Serene. Not too surprising though, as it looks like they'll be getting the Joe and Serena edit this season, and it'll end in them getting engaged. But it's this other shot that's still a mystery. However, we do have some clues to go off now. So last time I had marked down this bracelet to keep an eye out for, and now we've got something for this gentleman's other wrist as well. Something that looks like another bracelet, or maybe the band of a watch. Now, since the last preview breakdown, I've had commenters throw out 3 names for who this could be. 2 of them I think hold pretty strong merit, the third is a possibility, but I think highly unlikely. So the first is Tyler, who has been spotted with some bracelets on his Instagram. However, he seems like he might be a late addition to the show, certainly after Casa Amor, so I'm not so sure about this. But the second man is Johnny, and he definitely matches with some of what he's wearing, and I think this photo is the single strongest match of anything I've found to date. Which would be pretty wild considering he was so unready to get engaged on The Bachelorette, and currently the latest person we see him with is Victoria F. Her ending Paradise with a ring on would just be bonkers. Now finally, the third man is Michael A. He's been known to brandish a bracelet here and there, and we do know he has an endgame relationship with Danielle M, as we've sleuthed out before. Now this is a tough one for me, because my gut reaction is this makes the most sense, but then I remembered that it would be pretty ludicrous for him to get down on one knee before having the person he's proposing to meet his son. So unless they ship James in at some point, I don't see this happening. But also, hey, James would be off school at this time, so I suppose it could happen. Now, with all this said, I did scour through episode 1 to see if there were any matches here. The closest thing I could spot was Johnny in this moment, but the evidence is flimsy at best. Oh, and there's also this shot with Michael, but I'm not sure it's a match. So considering all of this and a few other shots with Johnny, this seems to be the closest we're going to get for now. But also remember, there's a whole other person in this shot. And if Johnny is coupled up with Victoria F, and we check these nails and this ring right here and match it to Victoria's cast photo, I don't know, the evidence is starting to pile up. So yes, while it may be wild to think of, Victoria F might be getting engaged at the end of this. But hey, as runaway bride Sally once said,
Anything can happen in paradise.
So that's it for this season preview breakdown of Bachelor in Paradise. Thanks for watching, and be sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. We've got a whole lot of sleuthing ahead of us, so make sure to subscribe to the channel for more content, and until next time, Bachelor Fantake out.
Paradise right now, it's not looking too much like paradise.